This is, well, it's a desegregation policy that's being challenged by conservative group. A conservative organization is seeking to overturn a Los Angeles school desegregation policy that has been around since, I don't know, the 70s? Yeah, the 70s, because they claim white students receive inferior treatment. This organization goes by the name of 1776 Project Foundation. Oh, they've got so much nerve. Look at 1776 Project is specifically going after the LA Unified School District. And here are the details. The suit by the 1776 Project Foundation takes aim at the district's predominantly Hispanic, Black, Asian, or other non-Anglo or PHBAO program. Claims that for students who attend non-PHBAO schools, the district provides inferior treatment and calculated disadvantages. Roughly 70% of LAUSD schools are part of the PHABO program. The suit says the district channels opportunities, preferences, funding, and outreach primarily to specific racial groups, while systematically excluding or failing to allow other students who similarly could benefit from the same favorable academic support. The district is acting illegally under both the California and the federal Constitution, the suit alleges. I'll give you an excerpt from the lawsuit itself. Racial equality is not a novel concept. Whatever obstacles this ideal may have been forced to overcome, it is now firmly rooted in the hearts and minds of most Americans. But not in the Los Angeles Unified School District, the LAUSD or district. Instead, the district engages in and publicly touts a program of overt, discrimination against a new minority. I mean, I'm supposed to just quote the suit. White student, they're the minority. And it's not just students of European descent who are the victims of the district's poor treatment. Students of Middle Eastern descent are also part of the disfavored group, as are others who fall on the wrong side of the district's bizarre racial and ethnic line drawing. Suit claims 600 campuses have illegal advantage, while about 100 do not. Lawsuit alleges that students in the targeted schools receive benefits that include smaller class sizes and that they also receive preferential treatment for entry into sought-after magnet programs. Note, magnet schools are special programs designed to promote voluntary integration. Today, magnet programs have become a general recruitment strategy in a school system with declining enrollment. Some magnets are virtually all students of color because few or no white students apply. Magnet funding is mainly spent on providing bus transportation for students to attend these special programs outside their neighborhoods. LA Times with the reporting. In the big picture, the district currently allocates extra resources based mainly on which schools are performing worse on academic measures, not race. Federal funds also typically benefit such schools through Title I funding, which is set aside for schools with high concentrations of poverty. These extra federal resources are not based on race. So let's give you the reality. Los Angeles School District remains among the most segregated in the country. Wide test score gaps between racial groups well short of the ideals that motivated a 1963 desegregation lawsuit and the lengthy legal battle that followed. Like many other districts, Los Angeles never truly integrated its schools. A short-lived mandatory busing program ended in the early 80s. Segregation is in fact worsening for two reasons. The end of court oversight that forced districts to create integrated schools and policies that favor school choice, parental preference. With the federal court system becoming more conservative because of the Trump administration's appointments, it is not clear if the 1776 Project's case will be considered to have any merit. We will just have to wait and see how this one unfolds in court. Well, my mind immediately went to the highest court in the land, Elliot, and I said, well, if Clarence Thomas could get his hands on this, I know what he would do. I know what he would do. Look, It occurs to me that when you're just talking about poverty, and yet a lot of these schools are all black and brown, that might lead you to a different conclusion about what needs to happen here. Instead of suing about the policies that were supposed to say, you know what, we're better off when we can all sit down next to each other and understand we all have something to contribute and learn here. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm reminded of, from what I understand at least, of the civil rights movement and the desegregation that happened later. It didn't all happen at once. It didn't happen with the snap of a finger. It was basically put off to the states and states' rights. And throughout that time, a lot of the people protesting the integration would say things like, "This is all about parental choice. This is all about making sure that my white student can learn the same stuff. And, I just want to protect him as a parent." And so all of this rhetoric sounds really familiar. And it reminds me a little of how I think it's Mark Twain, history doesn't repeat itself, but it certainly rhymes. And this seems to definitely be rhyming with it. And you're right, this is tied to property rights. Maybe we invest in the schools that aren't doing as well in poorer areas. That seems like a good thing, not, taking money from them instead. But what do I know? I'm not a legal expert for the 1776 Foundation or whatever it's called.
I suspect that you will not be considered for the role. I'm
No,
just, however
it's okay.
ambitious you are, it's not really going to be the role for you. And
That'll be
I've
fine.
often thought about how we can remedy what goes on. It seems to me ridiculous that because you live in a certain area and property taxes are high there and collectible there at a higher rate, the school there is great, and you hit the lottery and you get to be there. Well, somebody else who, I don't know, just decided to breathe this American air is destined to less or nothing. Okay, nothing that's going to amount to the American dream. Why should property taxes have anything to do with it? And if they are, why shouldn't, I don't know, I'm here in Georgia. State like Georgia should collect the taxes and do whatever. We're taxed to death, but whatever. And then, I don't know, it would be a novel approach to just meter them out equally, make sure every school had the same amount. But I'll give you the last word.
Property taxes, that's the right term, not property rights. But yeah, I think you're completely right. And also, there's something about the whole language of like, "Whoa, there's a new minority in town," okay, and it's the white people. That also sounds really familiar with a lot of the rhetoric that's online about that great replacement theory. So this whole thing just seems smells really bad to me, to be honest with
Mhm. Yeah, it stinks. And it's not rooted in anything that's heartfelt or full of integrity or the
you.
love of
Cynical.
children. You don't love children. You don't love white children when you're doing this. You don't. We're better off when we get to see other people as our equals, as human beings, and we get to compete against everyone. That's what brings out the best in America. And that's what gives America heart and soul and empathy and all those other things. But what do I know?